Hey folks, Steve Urban here, founder and CEO at recruiting firm Riderflex. On the podcast, we usually give uh, tips and advice and suggestions for your career, for job interviewing, resumes, LinkedIn, etc. Anything surrounding your career. Now, we also have entrepreneurs and CEOs as guests on the show who also give their advice around starting businesses, etc. But a large part of what we do is us as a recruiting firm and me as an executive, a longtime executive, even before Riderflex, sharing thoughts and advice that hopefully help you in your career. Well, right now, I'm recording this on March 27th, 2024. The hot topic, of course, is AI, artificial intelligence, robotics, etc. And this message is designed for me to wake you up. Okay. Pay attention, please. I talk to executives every single day, whether they're friends of mine, advisors, business owners, people on the podcast, clients that we serve, etc. Talk to executives all day long. Talk to candidates all day long because we're a recruiting firm. So we talk to people every day. I am amazed at how many people are not paying attention. Okay. A lot of you, quite honestly, you have your head in the sand. You're asleep at the wheel, so to speak, with regards to what is happening with the advancement of AI. I'm telling you right now, as a recruiter, hiring has slowed. I don't care what the media says. I don't care what stats you're looking at with job creation. I'm telling you, hiring has slowed, layoffs have increased. It's having a major impact, especially on tech companies, and there will be more. Okay. I guarantee it. There's going to be a lot more layoffs and a major seismic shift in the workforce because of the advancement of AI. Companies will replace human beings if AI can do it faster, cheaper, smarter, and more efficiently. It's going to keep happening. Okay. So, my rant today, or my primary goal, is to ensure you are making good decisions around either education for future jobs, skill sets for future jobs, a job change, an industry you might want to go into, etc. And this goes for anybody, not just younger folks in their career. But I do really have a lot of concern for young folks, my granddaughters, for example, even my own children. If they were, here's an example. If somebody called me today and said, "Yeah, I want to go to college because I want to be a copywriter," I, I would say, not a good idea. Okay. I want to be a graphic design artist. Not a good idea. I mean, there's so many jobs being affected by AI. You really need to be careful right now and smart about what you're doing and the decisions you're making and the education you're getting, the certifications you're getting, where you're spending your time, etc. There are going to be a massive amount of layoffs and change in the market. It's going to be a catastrophic seismic shift with what's happening in the workforce. It's going to happen. So I want to caution everybody to make good decisions. There's so many examples I could give you. I mean, if you haven't used Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these other large language models, like if you're not using those in your daily activity right now, you are behind. Like you're driving a horse and buggy and everybody else is driving a Ferrari. Like you are way behind if you are not using those in your daily task. They can really help you and make you more efficient. Here's the deal. The large language models, these AI assistants, they're smarter than all of us. because they have all the information. Okay. They have all the information. And I hear people say, oh, well, yeah, but they're not perfect. And every once in a while they hallucinate. Okay. And humans are perfect. I, I can guarantee the large language models are more perfect than human beings. Guarantee it. Okay. I mean, even yesterday, here's one tiny example, and I could give you a million. There was a balance sheet I was looking at for a client of ours, and it didn't look right to me. There were some things on it that it looks like there was mistakes, right? It wasn't reading the same way that the client was telling me or giving me information verbally. And so I thought, man, okay, either they don't know what's going on here, or there's a mistake on the balance sheet. Now I'm pretty good at balance sheets. I'm a long time executive, but I'm not perfect. But what I thought was wrong, so I kicked it into ChatGPT. I just threw it in there and said, "Hey, this balance sheet looks off to me because it's one line item. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think?" Sure enough, ChatGPT confirmed back for me exactly what I was thinking, told me what the mistake was on the sheet. Now, I also sent that to a friend of mine, a fractional CFO friend of mine, which took half a day because I had to email. Then I had to pay my fractional CFO friend an hour to look at the balance sheet and give me an answer and email me back. Guess what? They told me the same thing that ChatGPT told me. And I got ChatGPT's answer for free in about 10 seconds. There's so many examples like that. If you're not using large language models that will save you time and money, and you're being left behind if you're not using them. So, what I'm trying to convey here is pay attention. Okay. Do not be left behind. All of the AI advancements can help you if you use them right. And as you begin to use them, you'll start to realize all the jobs that are going to be affected, and you'll make good decisions around your career. Okay. Or you'll figure out what job or what career you should try to transition into. Some jobs will be affected immediately. Other jobs and other careers will be affected a little bit down the road. So you really have to kind of weigh out where you're at in your timeline of your own career. If you're 55 years old and you're only going to work for another 5 years, okay, and you want to do something that you think might be affected by large language models or AI, you may have a little time. You may have a few years to go ahead and make some money before AI takes over that task. If you're 25 years old and you see the AI is affecting your job, you should think about doing something else. Okay. That's really what I want to caution you on. Now, I'm going to play a clip here from Elon Musk, who was talking about AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is there's so many different definitions of artificial general intelligence, but basically, just to think of it like this: you being able to talk to your computer like it's a human being, like it's a all-inclusive assistant, instead of having 20 different apps and 20 different programs you got to go to get shit done. You talk to one artificial general intelligent assistant, and that assistant just talks back to you and gives you whatever you need. Okay. That's going to happen. Okay. We are headed that direction super fast. Okay. Super fast. And so he's talking about that here in this clip. Now, do me a favor. Okay. This is not a political post. This is not a you hate Twitter or you don't hate Twitter post. Please don't make this political. That's not what this is about. I don't give a shit if you like Elon or not. That's not what this post is about. Okay. This post is not about left or right or whether you like Elon or don't like Elon. The guy's one of the smartest people on planet Earth. Okay. And I think he knows more about AGI than any of you listening to this podcast, whether you like him or not. Okay. But what he's saying here is, hey, man, this is moving super fast. Like we're going to be at artificial general intelligence soon. He's probably right. Okay. Which means jobs and careers are going to be blown to hell in so many different sectors. It is going to change how we function as human beings on the planet with jobs and income.
But I think some things are fairly obvious to predict, which is that we'll have AI or AGI that's at a level that it can really do almost any cognitive, I think really not almost, really any cognitive task. It's just a question of when. One could debate, is it smarter than any human at the end of next year, or is it 2 years or 3 years? But it's not more than 5 years, that's for sure. I think it's probably end of next year before AI can do better than any individual human could do. And then, but it's a much higher bar to say, well, is it smarter than human intelligence collectively? But if the rate of change continues, that's why I think probably 2029 or maybe 2030 is where digital intelligence will probably exceed all human intelligence combined. If you look at the ratio of digital to biological compute, all of the higher level cognitive, if you sum up the higher level cognitive capacity of humans, and then what is the, and think of that as compute, then, well, and then compare that to what is the digital compute, and the rate at which this is growing is just boggles the mind. That's why I think 2029 or 2030 or thereabouts it's not that's I think a reasonable time frame for where you'd expect the cumulative digital compute to probably exceed the cumulative biological compute of higher level brain functions.
Now, as always, will we, let me get my fingers in here, figure it out? Will we figure it out and people will transition into other jobs? Probably. I guess. I mean, everybody always says, "Oh, well, when we went from kerosene to electricity, we figured it out. When we went from horse and buggy to automobiles, we figured it out, and everybody changed jobs." Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's true. Nothing was as gigantic as a change as this is as fast. Nothing else in humanity has ever happened this big or this fast. So will we adapt and change and figure out jobs and how to be creative and so forth? Yeah, probably. But short term, my prediction, short term, it's going to mess shit up. Okay. It's going to take a while for people to transition or get retrained in jobs or learn how to new jobs or for new jobs to get creative. There's going to be this short-term explosion of chaos with lost jobs and people figuring out what the hell they're going to do with their lives. That's my prediction. There's going to be short-term messiness and pain. Will we eventually figure it out with people transitioning into jobs and maybe universal basic income or whatever? Yeah, probably. We kind of always do figure it out as human beings. At least I hope we will. But there's going to be short-term pain. And the reason for my post is I want to help you and caution you about that short-term pain period so that you're not left behind and maybe you can get the right work to support your family. It's interesting. I'm a recruiter for a living, right? And so am I affected by all of this? Sure. There's going to be less hiring. I mean, Riderflex may not exist in the future. Maybe robots do all the hiring. Hell, I don't know. So I'm affected by this too. Am I worried? Yes, sure. And you should be worried, by the way. But what I was going to say is, why do I care? Like, why do I even put this stuff out there? Why do I even spend minutes making this, right? I don't know. I guess because it goes to my core purpose, which is, and my core purpose is I want to help people find professional happiness. That's my core purpose. Okay. I enjoy helping people find professional happiness. My core purpose ties into what I do for a living as a recruiter. So I want to help people. And I want to caution you to make good career decisions. That's why I wrote the books. Okay. That's why we published books. That's why we have the podcast. That's why we created a GPT to give you and empower you with information to make good career decisions. Cause I just want to help. I want to help you make good decisions around your career. I don't know why. I, you know, I enjoy helping people. And when I talk to people, they aren't paying attention. Like they are not paying attention. They act like, oh, everything's going to be okay. Yeah, everything will be okay if you're paying attention and making good decisions and looking down the road. All right. For your career. So anyway, I just want to continue to caution you. I get concerned is the right word when I talk to candidates or executives that that aren't paying attention. I could give you so many examples. I mean, really, I could just give you so many examples of business leaders I meet, and they'll have a business, and I'm thinking to myself, man, your business is like you're out of work, bro. Like what AI is replacing what you're doing at a rapid pace. By the way, that's why I invested, along with friends of mine, we invested in Cura Home Maintenance. We bought an air duct dryer vent cleaning home maintenance company. Why did I do that? Because I'm worried about anything that ties to a business for cognitive decisions, just like Elon says in his clip. Okay. You'll see this clip. If it's just a brain decision, cognitive decision, okay, and a keyboard decision where you're typing on your keyboard, like if your job is here and on the keyboard, large language models are replacing you. Okay. And I think that's going to replace Riderflex, the recruiting firm. Eventually, I really think recruiting firms are in danger long term, which is why we invested in Cura Home Maintenance, because it is a blue collar trade skill company that I think has a longer lifespan. By the way, they're working on autonomous robots to do those jobs too. Okay. I think that is further down the road, though. The white collar jobs, the cognitive keyboard jobs, are the ones that are in danger right now by large language models. The autonomous robot jobs, those are also in danger long term. I think it's going to be a while before some autonomous robot can come in your house and do miscellaneous stuff that they have to figure out. At least I hope so, because I invested money in Cure Home Maintenance. Uh, and who knows? Maybe by the time the cognitive keyboard jobs are gone and the autonomous robots can do all the other physical jobs, okay, well, maybe by then none of us are working and we live in some utopia where we all just, I don't know, do our hobbies every day. Nobody has to work. I don't know how the economy will function at that point, but I guess we'll figure it out. Anyway, there is your Riderflex career tip and rant of the day.